Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's 5 minutes past the hour on the 17th day of September. And welcome to another episode of hashtag Truth Be Told, JD Live, your early morning get up, wake up, wake up. 1 hour of power and inspiration, conversation for elevation. I had to put it out there and just have a moment of silence. Remember his name, Trey. I had to do that even though things are still unfolding with what happened with this young man who was found hanging from a noose on a tree, hanging from a noose on a tree at Delta State University in Mississippi. And be it that it comes out that it was suicide, or be it that it comes out it was something else, we still need to remember his name. We need to remember his name. Hanging of a black man from a tree for any reason to be very disturbing to all of us. And we should be engaged in that conversation. So, other folks that I have absolutely no time to have conversation about, that folks seem to want to flood my inbox about, well, there this being said and that being said. This was a man who looked like me, could have been my son, could have been my nephew, could have been my brother, that was found hanging from a tree in the state of Mississippi. That in itself brought back probably trauma to a lot of individuals. So I had to put his name up there, and I'm actually going to do it again. As we get ready to bring in one of the individuals who always comes in with me. I'm never here by myself, but I'm putting the name up there again. Remember that name. Y'all always want to say other people's name. Y'all saying CK's name. I'm just giving you his initials. I'm not even saying his name no more. Y'all want to talk about CK all the time. No, I'm talking about TR, Trey Reed. Because be it, if it was suicide, mental health is real, and we need to start checking on our young Black men. And if it wasn't suicide, we definitely need to know the truth. I infer that everybody takes this name and posts it on their social media. Like I said, I'm never in here by myself. Always blessed to have some great people with me. He is my resident Lamar Burton. Reading is always fundamental. Y'all give it up for my man, Sean P. and the Sean P. Experience. What's up, Sean? There you go. Sean, what's going on, brother?
My man, Joe, man. Another day, another great morning, man. Just getting off of work, ready to come and light up the airways, man. Try to provide some information, some healing, some humor, some laughs, and always to heal the community, man. Like you're saying, Trey Reed, keep his name going, and also the other gentleman that was found hung as well, same day, I believe.
Hold it.
Keep his name going as well.
Right.
Keep the names going as well, man, because like you said before I came on, whether it's something that was nefarious or even if it is something that was self-inflicted, either way, it's a life that's gone, and we got to address it as a community, as a family, man. Either way.
Yeah, that's real talk. And as you see, I'm Memphis out today since the president of the United States has deemed that Memphis is such a terrible place. He has to deploy the National Guard there. So I'm representing my hometown. And let me say the following. As a person who works in the occupation, leave the military to doing military things. I've served in the military. Military has a specific job and a specific assignment. Let them do their job. Allow law enforcement, which I work currently in that occupation, to do their job. And understand that this test dummy or this test tube or whatever this test is that you're doing to see can you bring in an autocratic type regime and deploy military to do your bidding. Y'all got to pay attention. Look, it's 10 minutes after. Sean, I'm going to bring this up, and I hate to bring this up because I really want to get into it, and I'm waiting for Brother Bowtie to come in where we can really talk about Trey Reed. But I want to say this. Remember what this man said. This man said, all you got to do is vote this one. You vote this time, I win. You ain't never got to vote again. Remember, the president, your president, the man who is sitting in the White House right now, made the following statement. If you vote this time and I win, you will never have to vote again.
So, Joe, what does that sentence imply? For those of us that's slow, I'm not that fast, Joe. I ain't that quick. It's early in the morning. What does that sentence imply?
I'm not sure. And I would like, and I will speculate and say this is my opinion. My speculation and opinion says that he will put himself in a position where whatever laws he lays forth, there will not be another election after this. And in other words, I'm going to change how governance operates in the United States of America. So enjoy this election because it's going to be the last election you will have a chance to enjoy, because I will put things in place that elections will be obsolete. I can speculate And in my opinion, that maybe was what he was saying. Let's see how it all unfolds.
You know what, Joe? I got to give some unfortunate news to the family this morning, man.
Out to me.
In the middle of everything that we feel so weighty about, we all weighed down, right? It's really only been a matter of months, Joe. This man still got 3 years and some change left. It's only been a matter of months that all this stuff been kicked up. We got 3 years, give or take. Man, just imagine this, bro.
You know, family, pay attention. Pay attention. Once again, I asked the question. Very few people answer the question because you have to be truthful about it. Good morning to everybody out there. Good morning to Brother Frank G out there doing this thing in Dallas, Texas. You know, we got people logging in from everywhere, and we appreciate you. We're broadcasting live right now on Facebook Live. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter X. And we are on YouTube. So catch the broadcast every morning. We are on here for 1 hour, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Central Time. And we are in here doing our things. You know, good morning to everybody. Good morning. I see people jumping in from everywhere. Good morning. Good morning. I see you. I see you. Good morning, family.
That's our fellow military brother right there, Joe, Brother Minette. Fellow military, current military.
Okay.
Out there in Virginia, I believe.
Okay, doing this thing in VA. So listen, as everybody logs in, tell a friend to tell a friend, share this with a friend. Pay attention. Pay attention. You know, like I said, the military being deployed into DC in the manner that they was. This is what autocratic governments do. They use their military to police their people. On top of the police. So you got the police policing and you have the military policing. And the military carries their orders directly from the commander in chief. To be exact, in many cases, if the military is there, the military will supersede the police. They will say, no, we're in control. We're in dangerous times.
I want to ask you a question, Joe, because you are a law enforcement guy, military guy, and you also understand these things, right? So when I did security for the hospital, and we were armed, right? I asked my supervisor, can I get one of those? I think it's called it's a lower holster, right? Lower kind of on a holster. He said no, Sean, because it looks too aggressive. That was the language that was used. Looks too aggressive for the patients, right?
Right.
But the president sending the military to these different cities, he is showing an aggressive force on purpose, psychologically. It's this show of force, right?
Right. Well, you know, it's funny that you say that. It's called a low riding holster. And to me, Sean, because I have one, I tell people all the time, you know, I don't wear mine a great deal. I wear it because I'm really not a tactical guy. But and don't get me wrong, I shoot very well, but those holsters are made it where if you need to access your weapon, you can access it a lot easier because it's right there at your hand. It's literally
your hand already there.
Your hand's right there. And it is used a great deal by tactical entities of law enforcement and military. In law enforcement, most SWAT guys, most guys who are what I call on patrol 24/7 on that grind in specialized units that deal with drug trafficking, that deal with the everyday wind and grind on the street. They have low riding holsters because they may wind up in a situation that 1 second, let me tell you, that 1 second can make all the difference. I always laugh about The Harder They Fall, the movie. That Harder They Fall.
With your boy Nate Love and all them. Nate Love
with Nate Love
and Bad Reeves.
And my man said, listen, I'm fast with the blam blams. He said, well, I heard there's somebody faster than you. He said, well, that's a hearsay. And he said, I'm telling you what I know. So, you know, it is, you know, it does have a certain look. And I tell people most times the law enforcement, with the way law enforcement has been looking lately, they do have a military type look to themselves. And, you know, that's one of the things. You might like it, you might not like it. Different opinions out there. At the end of the day, I tell people a uniform don't make you a good person. Let me say that again. There might be somebody who needs to hear that in the back. A uniform does not make you a good person. To be exact, I have seen uniforms disguise some of the most horrific folks I've ever met in my life. You know, I've seen people who are evil, sadistic, got all type of sexual deviance in their mind, trying to play on children, on the elderly, and on the vulnerable of this world, be dressed up in a priest uniform, in a pastor's uniform, in a deacon's uniform, in a choir director's uniform. I've seen them in nurses' uniform, in doctors' uniforms. You know, I've seen bad folks with bad intentions with honorable uniforms on, camouflage as if they're the good guys until the door closed.
You know what, Joe? I told a friend yesterday, the downside about me having so many life experiences, being around military, being around doctors and nurses, being around school board members, I've seen the worst of people in those places. So you can't impress me with a title no more. You can't tell me, look, Sean, this pastor so-and-so. That's not impressing me. This doctor so-and-so. This the DA. I'm not impressed by a title. I'm gonna need more than that to be impressed. Right. But I've seen some of the worst in those places.
Oh, there are bad people who have taken on honorable roles and put on honorable uniforms and have been nothing but a bad person in that disguise. For example, remember Mr. Santos? Okay, my conservative friends, since y'all always want to talk about these evil liberal folks, my conservative friends, do y'all remember Santos? Better yet, the president who sits in office right now is a convicted felon. So once again, and since he's so great, and he says he's so great, and everything he does is so great, it lets you know that you can make mistakes and bounce back from the mistakes. To be exact, we should be on a tour right now telling folks, you know what? We should go to every prison and talk to prisoners who are incarcerated and let them know you too can aspire to be the president of the United States of America. Because
look at our shining example. Shining.
A felon is now you having a felony on your record should not exempt you from being the president of the United States. You too have hope. You have hope. That's the message we should be saying.
See, Joe,
you too have hope.
People assume for the black community that Obama's supposed to be like, make us feel like, man, anybody can do it. But Obama had to be so like perfect. Like, Jesus, he's a Martian, an alien. Donald Trump is the actual one that should make us feel like, bro, anybody can do it.
Look, bro.
They got to be a Harvard graduate. They got to be a lawyer. They got to be a...
Wait a minute. I'm going to give you three examples. Three examples that you too can make some of the biggest mistakes in the world and still people love you as president. Tricky Dick himself, Richard Nixon. Okay. The first black president, some folks like to call him, Bill Clinton. Bill said, I'm pimping in the White House. I'm pimping in the White. Hold it. I'm straight pimping in the White House.
Hey, Poe pimping.
Hold it. And I did not have relations with that woman. Hold it. I said, if that's not, hold it. And then here's the thing. I didn't see nobody running after Bill saying, man, you know, these white men be out here lying. But let a black man, had that been Barack Obama.
Man, and Barack would have did any of that. He could have had a kiss in the White House. Forget all of that. He could have had a kiss.
White America lost their earthly mind when Barack Obama walked out and spoke on the presidential stage with a tan suit on. Let's just call a spade what it is. So Bill Clinton, I'm going to go see, somebody going to say, see, all you're talking about is the Republicans. No, check it. Bill was up in there, pimping in the White House. Girl, come here and get behind this resolute desk and give me a resolution. Come on. Now you got Donald Trump, who lies every day, who has 30-some odd felonies. So you can be a liar, you can be a fornicator, you can be a cheater, you can be all this, and you can still wind up being the president of the United States of America. That's the message we need to start telling folks. Hey, man. Hey, forget what you did. Forget what you did. Forget that you a liar, a drunkard, a drug addict. Forget that you out here sleeping with all these women and got all these kids.
Touching
Forget
on women,
all
touching on
that.
them.
Forget all that. You too can be the president. It's been proven. Oh, I got to talk about it. Hold on. Bowtie might not need to come on here today. I don't know. Bowtie, where you at? Where you at? I don't know where you at. But hold it. Let me do this one more time. Just for everybody, where there's no misunderstanding. I don't know what happened at Delta State University. I can only leave it to the authorities there and those that they may bring into that area to make sure that everything was done correctly. The I's were dotted, the T's were crossed. I hope that the family of Trey Reed gets their own independent autopsy to find out what happened to their child.
They got Big Croup on it, huh? Benjamin Croup.
They come.
I say Croup on it.
They coming, but let me do it one more time for everybody who didn't see it earlier.
Say his name proud. Say it.
That could have been your son. Who
your son could have been you.
Could have been you.
Could have been you.
Hold on. You know, and let me say this, Sean. Listening to the press conference last night that came out of Memphis, Tennessee, my hometown, where the attorney was speaking. Do you understand the president of the university did not even reach out to the parents and let them know that their child was found hung on campus from a tree? Once again, I don't have time to be talking about CK. I need to be talking about TR.
Now, Joe, you go to a lot of campuses all over doing your job.
Oh, yes, sir.
Don't they have like a lot of cameras around most campuses? They have cameras
Hold on.
all over the place.
Stop the presses. Stop the presses. Let us at 23 minutes past the hour tell you exactly where Delta State is. I just left Delta State a few weeks ago. It's in Cleveland, Mississippi, right down the street from Itta Bena, Mississippi, home of Rice-Totten Stadium, where the Mississippi Valley State Devils play football. Southern played Mississippi Valley in Itta Bena. We drove through Cleveland, stopped in Itta Bena. You got to understand, Cleveland, Greenwood, Itta Bena. Greenwood should be known because there's a guy there called Emmett Till. They just had the weekend that we were down playing Mississippi Valley, a big celebration where they had found the gun from the situation with Emmett Till. They were revealing the statue and everything. And now this happens at Delta State. Delta State is the home of the statesman. And if people who know Mississippi and know Mississippi University, Delta State ain't an easy school to get into. It's better known as the Statesman. Hold it. We laugh because they are called the Fighting Okras. Okra, like okra you put in gumbo. Yeah, the Fighting Okras. Like some folks say okra don't go in gumbo.
But that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, but they're a very astute, well-known political university in the state of Mississippi. Not a lot of black and brown folks are in Delta State or go to Delta State. And correct, in 2025, where you can't walk outside your door in the hood without a Ring camera catching your ass. All of a sudden, you ain't got no video footage of this happening on this campus. Better yet, Sean, I'm driving down the street at whatever time, because guess what? I might be out. I wake up to do this podcast, so I might be out getting ready to get my walking workout. I might be headed to Brown Park at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning to do some running and some walking. If I drive by you're always looking while you're driving. We always be looking. If I drive and I see a young man throwing a rope over a tree branch, or I see a young man climbing a tree to jump out of a tree, I'm gonna be like, "You all right, son? It's 6 in the morning. What you doing climbing this tree with that rope?" if I see somebody, I might not want to get involved, but I'm sure gonna call somebody and say, hey man, I saw a young man climbing a tree with a rope. I don't know what's going on, but maybe y'all might need to send them people out here to check on them.
Don't they say if you see something, say something?
That's what
See
they
something,
say.
say something?
That's what they say. That's what they say. That's what they say. That's what I don't hold it. First of all, I don't get how a university as well known as Delta State University, as prestigious as it is, has no cameras at the pickleball court. Have no cameras around that area because these days in time, people can make all kind of allegations. The president groped me at the pickleball court. Well, let's look at the camera. Did he or did he not?
My man just said that the campus police, they ain't making patrols.
Right.
I mean, we need some heads to roll on this. Some balls that got dropped. The campus police, campus security, some balls that got dropped somewhere, Joe.
Once again, I don't want to be the one to say it, nor do I want to be the one to make folks feel a certain way about it. But I like to be straight up with folk here. Straight up as I can. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
I'll tell you what, Joe. My daughter in college right now. I won't say what school is not important. Right. If we get a phone call, whatever time in the morning or something, y'all don't know nothing? That can't fly, Joe.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. That's all. Listen, I want y'all just listen. Everybody just look, hold it. I'm gonna put his name back up there. And all of y'all need to say it with me. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Because no matter how you look at it, be it mental health, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, I got to say this, Sean, and I don't want folks getting mad at me. 28 minutes past the hour. Listen to what I'm about to say, family. I'm in a profession that I can pull up the stats and tell you. Most Black and brown folks, if we are going to take our lives, we're going to take our lives one of three ways. Let me give you those ways. One of the ways, I don't know if I'm not going to categorize them 1 to 3. I'm just going to give you 3 ways. I don't know who's first or who's third. One of those ways is we're going to get to the point that we say, you know what, I'm going to take a lot of pills and I'm going to drink a lot of alcohol and I just won't wake up. That's one way we try to take our lives when we are Black and brown folks. Statistics say that. Number 2, we go drive somewhere and either drive our vehicle off a high point, or we're going to drive somewhere and we're going to jump off of something. We're going to jump off a building. We're going to jump off a bridge. We're going to jump off of something. That's number 2. Number 3, we're going to find a mighty fine weapon, probably a pistol. And we're going to put that pistol either in our mouth, to our head. We're going to squeeze the trigger. Now, those are the 3 top things that Black and brown folks do when they want to take their own life. Mental health is real. We need to talk more about mental health. We need to have mental health professionals online, and we need to start asking each other, are you okay? So when you start talking about, and it's a very low percentage that you're going to see Black folks slitting their wrist. Slitting your wrist, them days are almost over. Because believe it or not, slitting wrists, bleeding out is painful, is a painful death. Okay. I don't know too many Black folk when they decide to take their life, wake up and say, you know what? I'm going to make a noose, get in the train, and hang myself.
Now, Joe, I'm not being funny at all. It's a super serious topic. I'm a Navy man, right? We deal with making knots and all that.
Come on now.
Do you think the average citizen, the average civilian, just know how to tie a knot that will hold your body weight like that, Joe?
A noose. Hold on. A noose. Hold
Anybody
on, sir.
out there, go to Home Depot, go to Walmart, get some rope, and just in your little, just try to play with a knot and just see how difficult it is to even like securely. The average person not doing that, Joe.
To hold your body weight. To hold your body weight.
He was 21 years old. He ain't no
Come
little
on.
kid. A 21-year-old human male.
Blackmail. Blackmail.
That's not no easy. They ain't no easy little. They ain't tying no shoestring.
That part. That part. Hold it. Hold it. I would like to take everybody back to a scene in the Shawshank Redemption when I forgot the Caucasian man's name who was feeding the bird in his pocket, but he was set free and he decided to hang himself. Hanging yourself ain't an easy task. You really have to be in a place of solitude and by yourself because folk gonna be paying attention.
How do you know the particular bread's gonna hold your body weight?
Hold it.
There's a lot of variables to know.
Oh, right, right. And let me say it one more again, Sean. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Ask the question.
Something ain't right. And I ain't trying. Listen, this is not a laughing matter, but sometimes you got to sit there and say, y'all really think we gonna buy this? Y'all hold it. Y'all really think? Hold it. See, and the reason, and I hate to say it, now I'm gonna get ugly because there's gonna be a few black and brown folks out there that are gonna be like, "Ooh, Joe getting ugly." The reason they think we're gonna buy it is because of the Tim Scotts of this world. Yeah, I hope some of my black conservative friends come on here where I can look them dead in the eye and say the reason they feed us this bull crap like they fed us on this situation. Yeah, he decided to take his life, and because that's the narrative. That's the narrative that's out there. The narrative that's out there is that he took his own life. The narrative that's out there from the coroner, the official statement from the coroner, from the press conference with the law enforcement, I think it was the sheriff. The narrative is he took his life. So okay, y'all just make it that black and brown folks about everything. Hold it, but let me understand this. He took his life. We need to buy that. Just like we need to buy that, all this stuff that they done told you about President Trump, the 32, 34, whatever felonies, that's fake news. His wife Melania doing a whole nude spread for a nude magazine, that's fake news. That's really not her. That's an AI. That's some AI generated thing. All this is every bad thing you hear about Donald Trump is fake news. But we got to believe that this young black man hung himself. Okay, let me say that again, black conservatives. Everything that they tell you about Donald Trump is fake news. Fake news. However, what is real news and truthful news is this young black man in Mississippi after the CK event that put 15 HBCUs on lockdown, all of a sudden in the state of Mississippi. Hold up. What Mississippi known for?
More than anywhere else. More than anywhere else.
Wait a minute. What is Mississippi and Alabama mostly known for? I'm starting to put some states in here. What Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Louisiana, Texas, Florida, what these states known for, these southern states known for? Was it not somewhere in a book? I got a book man in the building. And is there not a book out there that you can pull up that talks about the history of this country, the United States of America? And was there not a president in place called Lincoln? And during Lincoln's time, wasn't there a group of states that's decided that they didn't want to be a part of this no more and said, you know what, we're going to have a succession and we're not going to follow this constitution that these founding fathers called. Guess what? Y'all saying that we need to let go of our slaves. And down in our neck of the woods, cotton is king, and we ain't picking the cotton ourselves. So before we let them go, we gonna go to war. And wasn't there a time? Isn't there a time in history? Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe somewhere, maybe this fake news too. But somewhere I thought I could Google a thing called the Civil War. And if I Googled it, I think they'll give you a date. And that whole Civil War was about racism, slavery, economics. But they would have you to think that it had nothing to do with slavery, had everything to do with economics. Man, I call bullshit a mile away. Stop that. Stop that.
I want to address something else that's real serious with this topic too, Joe. So the other brother that was unalive as well, right? He was a part of the unhoused community. I put it like that.
Okay,
Unhoused, right?
was this a hold it? I'm curious. Hold on, because I don't know what's going on with my lighting. I'm curious. Was this a black man? Well, I have been curious
He's
about
not.
this.
He's not. He's not.
Okay,
He's not.
so this was an unhoused non-black person that
Yeah.
winded up being hung.
Yes.
Listen,
About an hour and a half from the other about
Right,
an hour or so distance.
so I need, but it was in Mississippi, right? Okay, listen,
Yes.
y'all.
Yes.
Lightning rarely strikes the same place twice. All of a sudden, CK, the Messiah, to certain movements, is murdered. I do not condone that murder. I do not support that murder. The individual who they have charged with that murder, if he is found guilty, had committed that murder, I believe he should be held to the highest standards of the law.
They're trying to give him the death penalty, I heard. The death penalty.
Whatever they decide to do, that's their choice. If he did it, he needs to be held responsible. I do not uphold the murder of any human being. But all of a sudden, there's 2 hangings in Mississippi. 2 hangings in Mississippi. Let me say something.
What I want to get at is
that's not coincidental.
A lot of people don't value the unhoused. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't really care. What I want to say is there was a guy on public news talking about they should be exterminated or whatever.
Right. Hold on.
And still has his job, by the way.
Okay, so let's be real about that. Folk in the conservative movement can talk about black and brown folks, unhoused folks, better known as homeless folks, like a dog, and keep their job. If one of us go out there and we speak one vile word about the current president, freedom of speech, or about CK, freedom of speech, we risk the new Gestapo knocking on our door talking about what you talking about, Willis. Man, y'all got to watch V for Vendetta. I keep telling y'all, go watch V for Vendetta. But for those of you who won't read the book, because it is based on the book, for those of you who won't read the book, go watch the movie. Go watch the movie. Because the movie will take, the book really gets deep into it. The book gets deep into how all of a sudden the political mindset changed because people weren't working. They had to find somebody to blame it all on, not knowing when the water system got poisoned, it was the government that poisoned the water system. Though they blamed it on this ultra left this ultra left group to make everybody believe, well, it's these lefties that did all this. They didn't do it, the government did it. They were just blamed for it. And once they got blamed for it, everybody began to turn against them. Pay attention. People who are guilty and in power will make other folks look guilty when they're the one who were the perpetrators of the crime.
Well, Joe, 1960s, Malcolm X said, be careful with the media. The ones that they prop up in front of you, the ones that they praise and raise up in front of you, be careful of them. And the ones that they're putting down and putting to the outskirts, you ought to really, really examine them, follow them. But the ones that they raising up, be skeptical.
So let me say that to my black and brown brothers and sisters right now. And yes, I'm throwing straight shade on a lot of folks. If there's a bunch of white folks out there celebrating you and you black and brown, we might need to put a good eye on you and really ask ourselves, are you doing what they say you're doing? Are you just the one that they're using as the conduit where every time they get into a place in a bind of racial tension, they remind us, I'm friends with so-and-so. He comes over my house and we talk all the time. That's my black friend. Sounds about like Wallace when Wallace got shot in Alabama. I have a black, Clarence is my friend. Forget that rhetoric when I said this little girl will not come into this school over my dead body. No, but Clarence is my friend. I didn't want the little black girl to come to the school in Alabama, but this is my friend. Y'all pay attention. I'm glad some folks tell y'all, man, Joe Dupree ain't worth the time of day. Thank you very much. I'd rather be not worth the time of day than to be secretly on my knees in back rooms, bent over, going humana, humana, humana. Because that's what a lot of you black and brown leaders are doing. In the hood, y'all in Gawa. Man, don't wear another piece of kente cloth around me. I'd have snatched that kente cloth off your ass. Talking about Ungawa,
I love it. I love it.
But in back rooms, you're on your knees, bent over, going hamina, hamina, hamina. Talking about Moti, sir. Man, I ain't got time for this.
And the sad part about it, Joe, you got black and brown people are really like disowning their family behind this whole CK thing. They losing lifelong friends behind this. They losing their church buddies behind this. Come on, man.
Hold it. I'm gonna make it clear. If I showed you some of the stuff I got in my inbox where folk are trying to tell, oh, the liberals, this, that. Listen, man, I don't give a damn if you're liberal. I don't give a damn if you're conservative. I don't give a damn if you're progressive. I don't care if you're green, blue, purple with antennas on your head. Let me tell you something. If you don't look at me as your equal and as a human being like you, kiss my ass. That's where I'm at with that. And I mean that from the bottom of my soul, because I'm sick and tired of folk trying to tell me your views. Let me tell you something. Right now, in some Bible-waving, God-forsaken church, there's a pastor screwing everybody in the building. What y'all talking about? Hold it. Because y'all want to come out here and clean up the hood and clean up the street, clean up the church, goddammit. Do that. Do that. Somewhere out there, there's a choir director that y'all always talking about. Y'all got a problem with the LGBTQ community A+. You don't got a problem when they in there. You don't have a problem with them when they the choir director and the choir sounds like a heavenly choir that you never heard before. You ain't got a problem with that. Praise Jesus.
Gotta be that jumping, Joe. Gotta be that jumping.
Child, they can sing. They can. Now you ain't got a problem then. You ain't got a problem then. Now you ain't got a problem when you ain't got a problem. And I'm gonna say it. Most commercialized churches to me ain't nothing but a car show, fashion show, and let me see who I can see and try to be hold it. Y'all love Jesus Wednesday and Sunday. Y'all fucking like rabbits Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Not like rabbits, Joe.
Like rabbits.
Not the jackrabbit. Jackrabbit?
Like rabbits. Hold it.
You be Roger Rabbit?
Nah, I'm talking about the real rabbit, Bugs Bunny. They walking hold it, sisters and brothers alike, because it ain't just the men, it's the women too. Both of them walking up to folks, crunching on the carrot, going, yeah, what's up, Doc?
Boy, you up there, Joe?
Oh, it's 15 minutes, y'all. Y'all done let me loose now. It's 15 minutes to the top of the hour. Now, I would have to look. It's just out of, and I always believe the honor those who have passed on. In other news, Robert Redford did go to glory, and God please bless and rest his soul. You know, I am tripping out that, and let me put it back up here. Ask me how many times on MSNBC, CNN, that you've seen this name.
Joe, I'm gonna say it 2 days in a row. I do a lot of journalistic digging before I come on this show. Every morning, I do a lot of stuff at night before I come on the air. I gotta really dig for this stuff, Joe. It's not on the top front, the top 10 stories, top 20. I gotta dig for it, Joe.
So hold it. Listen to what I'm about to say. A black man in college in Mississippi is found hung from a tree. And this is what we hear. This is what we hear, family. From the mainstream media, this is what we hear. To be earnest, I haven't seen even on the ticker tape running on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC, CBS, I ain't seen it. All I hear is however, an individual who had never served one day in the military, an individual who had never one day said anything positive about fellow American citizens that did not look like him, had flags lowered to half mast, had full military honors
Yes.
as his body was transferred to be buried and memorialized. Now look, I ain't a hater.
He getting the medal from the president. He getting the medal of some sort from the president.
I ain't a hater. I'm a congratulator. However, there are folks who have served this country who had not got such honors. To be exact, if I recall right, before this individual was murdered in Utah, there was a person who was a member of Congress. I think her and her husband were both members of Congress. They were murdered. We didn't lower the flags at half mast for them. To be exact, I played it yesterday. And if I need to, I'll play it again. I don't have a problem. To be exact, that's going to be what I'm going to do on my way out. I'm going to play something for y'all where a man made it crystal clear. Do you not know there's probably year to date in this country, I think it's over 18,000 folks who have lost their life to senseless gun violence? Have we lowered the flag for them 18,000 folks? Curiosity kills the cat. Find it.
And they're doing a big old thing at all the NFL games and NBA, baseball, other kind of sporting events. They're doing a big old shindig and everything like that. Like you said, with all respect, I'm just saying, it's blatantly clear, man.
I am beyond. I am beyond. When I say I'm beyond, I am beyond. I'm gonna play this again. It don't bother me one bit. I'm definitely gonna play it. Let me do something here. Hold on, cause I think y'all got to hear this. And look, this is an Islamic man from Palestine, and I want to give him. I'm not Muslim. That's not the spiritual path I'm on, but I agree about 100%. If not, I agree at least 98% with everything this man is about to say. And y'all need to hear this because this is some people's truths also. And you have to understand that. And this is something that needs to be said. This just needs to be said. So we're going to take a pause for the cause and let y'all hear this for a second. What this man says makes a lot of sense. And I'm gonna play it again. Yeah, here we go.
What about this boy, Charlie Kirk, who got shot in Utah? Him getting shot in Utah makes him, I believe, American number 18,533 who got shot in the U.S. this year, shot and killed. And I think that there were 3 more people who were shot and killed in Colorado, just over the mountains, within hours of his shooting. And all the flags in America are going to fly half-mast. Not for those 18,335 other victims, but they're going to fly half-mast for Charlie Kirk. That's just an observation. You can do with it what you will. I'll be honest. When I first heard that he had been shot, I made a joke about it on X because, frankly, I'm just as used to theatrics coming out of America as I am used to gun violence coming out of America, and I thought that theatrics seemed more likely in this case. But when I did learn that he died, I deleted my post. I deleted it out of respect, not for him, but for the severity and for the solemnity of the judgment that he has now proceeded to. Because everything that he ever said and everything that he ever did that harmed anyone, well, he's going to answer for that. He's going to answer for that right now in his meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the heaviness of that meeting is disturbing to any of us who believe in it. But we'll talk about it. Let's start with the obvious, okay? First, I'm not going to feign grief or feign mourning for this person. I know that that's a hypocrisy that social etiquette demands at a moment like this. But we all know that he would certainly not grieve for us. He certainly would not mourn for us, just as he never grieved and he never mourned for the wanton slaughter of the Palestinians in Gaza. He never grieved for that. And for myself personally, as a Muslim and as a critic of Western so-called civilization, I know that Charlie Kirk himself would most likely have officially anyway considered me to be his enemy. And as far as I'm concerned, any man whose enemy mourns him when he dies, well, he wasn't doing his job. And I don't think it can be said about Charlie Kirk that he didn't do his job, which is to say that he never did anything and he never said anything in his public life that would make me mourn his passing, just as I hope that I will never say or do anything in my public life that would make my enemies grieve for my passing. They should be happy when I die. Enemies are disturbed by each other's presence, not by each other's absence. But let me also be crystal clear about this. It doesn't make me happy either. I neither mourn nor celebrate. Neither of those reactions is appropriate, in my opinion. Whoever pulled that trigger didn't do it for me, and they didn't do it for you. I don't even see them as being on two different sides. They didn't silence Charlie Kirk. They amplified Charlie Kirk. The power structure never cared about that boy. They used him. And he's more useful to them now than he was the day before. He's more useful to them dead than he was alive. Listen, you don't defeat someone like this, someone like a Charlie Kirk, a tool like him, by letting that tool mold you into exactly what they want you to be. That killer didn't deliver justice. If you think they did, he didn't. He delivered to the power structure an even more enhanced weapon. He made a mediocre, but dangerous and polarizing figure, Charlie Kirk, into now an impeachable icon for the very fan base that he most likely despises. And he made criticism of Charlie Kirk's ideas. Now it's disrespect for the dead. This is not resistance. This is a gift. This is a gift to the very security state that he probably thought he was attacking. Now it's stupidity. Or maybe, as the conspiracy theories are already speculating, what actually happened was just a purge of an expendable asset to create a more powerful symbol. Well, they'll use his death. Oh, how they will use it. They will use his death to paint every dissenting voice, every cry for a more just world. They'll paint it with the same bloody brush. They're going to use his death to avoid once again ever having to look in the mirror. They're going to hold Charlie Kirk's body up as a shield against any examination of the society that created him and the society that created his killer, the society that they made and that they rule. And you didn't do anything now but strengthen their hold on that society. They're going to use his corpse as a pulpit to preach from. And you just validated all the lies that they're going to be preaching. You understand me? Because listen, the truth is the Charlie Kirks of the world are not the enemy. The enemy is the society, it's the system, it's the power structure, it's the so-called civilization that creates boys like Charlie Kirk. I call him a boy because that's what he is to me. I'm 54 years old. That's what he is to me, or that's what he was. And also because he presented a childish, simplistic cartoon portrait of America that only a young boy could ever believe in. He presented an America without complexity, without guilt, without the burden of their terrible history. Well, that's a seductive product. And America has always been an eager market for that sort of a product. He existed because of supply and demand. You demand and the power structure supplies. The killer and the killed are the products of the same sick society. Kirk and his killer and the other 18,535 victims and their killers. And wallahi, if you don't clock this reality, if you don't understand this reality, and if you let yourself get swept up in all the narratives and all the counter narratives, then you might just end up being like one of them.
Oh,
No,
go
no.
ahead, Sean.
He
Oh,
said
yeah.
something real powerful in there. I said it once, I'm gonna say it again. I was at work one night, months ago, whenever that guy took that shot at the current president, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was in a predominantly white establishment at work. Whenever this whole thing first went down, and when he rose up, Joe, and grabbed his ear, and it was bleeding,
Mm-hmm.
he put that fist up like that, the whole place erupted like a pep rally, Joe. And I texted my friends, he won the election.
Right.
Whoever took that shot, why would they did the shot, I don't know. But they just won him the election right there. They're going to use this right here as momentum. It's going to just propel their cause further. I agree with that.
So it is 4 minutes. 4 minutes to the top of the hour. On this Work It Out Wednesday, 17th day of September, all I can say, family, is regardless of what side of this thing you stand on, regardless how you look at this thing, I want you to pay attention. Pay attention and be vigilant. Understand, we are dealing with a president who has already said publicly, Black and brown kids are born criminals. That's what he said. And once he say it, folks will take on that ideology and look at our intelligent, beautiful Black and brown kids as, man, you were born to do wrong. No, children are born to be children. Period. And guess what? Children will do children things. Black children, white children, Asian children, regardless the hue of your melanin, children will do children things. That's why children need good parents to give them good guidance. So instead of talking about how children are born a certain way, maybe we need to talk about how parents raise their children.
The hate that hate produce.
Yeah, come on. That part, family, that part. I'm gonna do it one more again, Sean, because it needs to be done. As we get ready to get up out of here, I got to do it because ain't nobody else doing it. Hold on. Can I do it? Can I do it?
Thank God for black media.
Can I do it? I can do it. There you go, family. If this was a situation that this young man had a mental breakdown and he decided to take his life tragically, we need to start asking each other, are you okay? Do you need some help? We've got to start addressing the ugly elephants that are in the room and stop acting like they're not there. They are there.
Hey, Joe, I said ask twice. Because the first answer, the service answer, how you doing, Joe? Oh, man, it's all good. No, how you really doing, Joe? What's really going on?
Right.
Ask twice. Ask twice.
Right. So I'm going to hold this up here for a few seconds, y'all. Listen, I'm going to say it again. I put it on my page. It's actually pinned at the top of my page. So if you want to go to my page, which is Joe Dupree Anderson on Facebook, I'm at DJDMS on Instagram. You can go ahead and take this, put it on your page. We should, listen, if we're going to talk about other folks who don't look like us, who have only said nothing but bad things about us, let's take this young black man's name and put it on all our pages. And remind folks, you need to check on one another. Because guess what? That could have been Joe Anderson, Joe Dupree Anderson, who took his life tragically, or something nefarious happened and he was found hanging from a tree somewhere and they tried to say, no, he did it himself. Pay attention, family. Please pay attention. With that being said, whoo, man, I'm trying to control it, Sean. With that being said, it is almost the top of the hour. Sean, let's get up out of here, man. Tell me about the Griot podcast, the Sean P Experience.
Well,
what you got going?
You know, Joe, today being the kind of day like it is, it's not time for a promo moment, man. I want to give some good words to the family. I told a good friend yesterday, whatever your belief is, it's time to do it more. If you're a praying person, it's time to stay in that prayer closet. If you love to go out there and take your shoes off and ground, it's time for some grounding or meditation, whatever you believe in. Holy water, sage, oil, whatever you do, it's time for a lot of it because we're in some trying times right now. Protect yourself, protect your household, protect your community, man. I want to leave with kind of words like that for the family. I really, really love y'all, man. I do it for y'all.
That's what I'm talking about. Listen, I'm so blessed to have Sean P with the Sean P Experience the Griot podcast in the building on this Work It Out Wednesday. Family, I'm going to do this the best way I can before I put the name back up there. That name needs to resonate with all of us from the standpoint of view of if something nefariously happened to him, the truth, justice comes out, not to incite us to want to do anything in retaliation, but to allow us to know that this is the game plan. I have somebody who tells me all the time, knowing is half the battle. Remember to be better today than you were yesterday, and do something today to bless somebody somewhere that no matter what you do, there's no earthly way they could ever pay you back. And always remember that there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he willingly can do for you. For when God is with you, nothing, no one. Be blessed. Have a great Wednesday. It is hump day. We're going to make it to Turn Up Thursday. Turn down for what? Got to put the name out there and just be quiet for a moment before we get up out of here. Remember this now.